Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. A home and daycare were almost destroyed by fire. Now, as our Maggie Hall reports, the community is surrounding the daycare and homeowners to help them build back their livelihood.
It was here on Turnpike Road in Bath where a family's nightmare materialized. The Harrington family lost their home and their business in one fell swoop. Over a dozen fire crews responded to the fire that burnt Cindy's home and daycare that she runs out of her home.
My husband and I, we have the same routine every day, and at 5:40, he goes out to start his truck to get ready for work. He hit the bottom step and realized something was wrong, and all of a sudden the garage door blew off.
The cause of the fire has been determined by fire marshals to be electrical. The licensed daycare, called the Barnyard Rascals, is well loved by its parents and kids.
To not be able to open yesterday was harder than watching my house burn. I've spoke to a lot of the kids today. They've given hugs, cards, flowers. But we're going to come back. Big, strong. It's going to be good.
Cindy is currently working with the New York State Office of Children and Family Services during the rebuilding process of the daycare. One daycare parent started a GoFundMe for Cindy and her family. If you'd like to donate to the Harringtons, search Help Rebuild the Harringtons Home on Facebook or GoFundMe. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Bath.
Sammy's Quick Stop in Elmira is without a roof due to high winds. High winds and rain blew through the southern tier yesterday, downing power lines and ripping part of the roof off the gas station. Sammy's Quick Stop on Walnut Street lost power and parts of the roof due to the heavy winds. There is no report yet on when the gas station will reopen. The New York State Department of Labor announcing new regulations for farm labor overtime. The new regulations bring the 6-hour threshold for overtime pay to 56 hours per week. New tax credits for farms have been increased to 20% for farm businesses to help farmers with this new overtime policy. For more information, visit the state's Department of Labor website. The Food Bank of the Southern Tier is preparing for an increased demand next month. Beginning in March, COVID-era SNAP benefits will be reduced for millions of families across 32 states, including New York. The Food Bank of the Southern Tier stated that households will lose at least $95 a month in benefits. If you're in need of food, you can call 211 or visit the Food Bank's Food Finder website. Twin Tiers Eye Care Associates is officially joining forces with Guthrie Medical Group. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg tells us how this will impact eye care in the region.
A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held today at Specialty Eye Care in Elmira to celebrate the new partnership between Twin Tiers Eye Care and Guthrie Medical Group. The partnership now forms the area's largest eye care team.
It allows us to combine our resources of MDs, optometrists, as well as all our staff and all our facilities that we both have, combine it, and you get a synergy of effect.
According to Dr. Rosenberg, as the population ages, everyone needs eye care. Now, with the two medical groups combining their practices, patients will be able to receive all different forms of eye care under one umbrella.
And it's being able to provide quality eye care from beginning to end, from something as simple as glasses to restoring visual needs from cataracts or maintaining vision with people that have glaucoma or diabetes.
Twin Tiers Eye Care joined Guthrie following the retirement of some of the group's senior partners over the last couple of years.
We're looking forward to this. We've already combined forces since December, and it's been a great process. The people at Guthrie have been very welcoming to us and trying to make the transition for myself, the other providers, and the patients as smooth as possible.
Another ribbon-cutting ceremony and open house is scheduled for tomorrow at the newly rebranded Guthrie Specialty Eye Care Clinic in Binghamton. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Elmira.
Hundreds gathered at St. Mary's Church today in Corning to observe Ash Wednesday, marking the beginning of Lent. Lent is a 40-day season of prayer, fasting, and repentance. Observers are often seen with the markings of a cross in ashes on their foreheads. A group of NATO nations who banded together after Russia's annexation of Crimea are on edge watching the war in Ukraine continue. President Biden is in Poland trying to calm their fears by stressing the U.S. will defend literally every inch of NATO. Peter Doocy is in Warsaw, Poland.
President Biden reassuring a special collection of NATO nations that the U.S. understands the very real impacts of the war in Ukraine. Biden greeted by leaders from Poland, Slovakia, and Romania, who along with Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, and Lithuania make up what's called the Bucharest Nine. Many worry Putin could take military action against them next if he succeeds in Ukraine.
As NATO's eastern flank, you're on the front lines of our collective defense. And you know better than anyone what's at stake in this conflict, not just for Ukraine, but for the freedom of democracies throughout Europe.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg also meeting with Biden and the Bucharest Nine as President Putin meets with top Chinese diplomat Wang Yi. Many are watching these meetings for signs Beijing might offer stronger support to the Kremlin. Putin going so far as to say Moscow is looking forward to hosting China's president in Russia.
International relations are difficult. The cooperation on the international arena between China and Russia has a very big significance for the stabilization of the international situation.
As the conflict in Ukraine approaches the one-year mark, there appears to be no clear end game.
We have to talk about peace talks, how to end this conflict. You know, the patience of the American people, the patience of Congress is not unlimited. The amount of money we're spending for these weapons in Ukraine, this is not going to continue.
This is President Biden's final day in Eastern Europe. His administration is set to impose new sanctions on Moscow next week. In Warsaw, Poland, Peter Doocy, Fox News.
Former President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind built their life in a small, rural Georgia town. His neighbors are now reflecting on what he's meant to that community. Madeline Rivera has more.
He was just as much a member of this church as any member was.
Known as a devout Christian, former President Jimmy Carter's faith and desire to serve drove his decision-making post-presidency. After leaving office in 1981, he returned home to Plains, Georgia, where he and his wife Rosalind joined Maranatha Baptist Church. It's there where Carter taught Sunday school for decades. Often crowds as large as 500 people lined up to hear him speak.
We had people who learned how to plug in their curling irons, and we brought in potolets for them to use, and people would bring breakfast food with them.
Carter and Rosalind also spent more than 35 years volunteering with Habitat for Humanity. Together, they worked alongside thousands of volunteers to build, renovate, and repair some 4,300 homes.
He's probably one of the primary reasons that Habitat for Humanity was able to really expand and have global reach.
Friends and supporters of Carter say this desire to serve began in his birthplace of Plains. It's part of the reason why the former president chose to spend his final days in this town of about 500 people.
This has been the bedrock for his foundation, and he could have lived anywhere in the world. He could have done anything with his time.
More car owners are making late payments on their loans. What experts say is causing the increase. That story, plus your complete forecast when we come back.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, quickly, the snow was able to push in and give us a quick inch of some snowfall, even seeing that dusting there, a snowfall that accumulated into Binghamton. There was an official report in Elmira of that inch before we saw that transition over to freezing rain for a few hours, leading to very slick and slippery surfaces. But that full transition over to rain showers has now been made, and we're even underneath some areas of some moderate rain showers as this low pressure system starts to depart, but keeps us along a warm front, and that's allowing for temperatures to actually actually climb through the overnight into those lower 40s to start off our Thursday. We'll head into Thursday with talking about some scattered shower activity, but it's looking to be mostly quiet as we head through much of the day. Just a hit or miss rain shower as we are looking to stay within the warm pocket. It's going to keep us on the side where we're not expecting one significant accumulation or having to battle much more of that significant change in precipitation. Now, into the afternoon, there will be a push of that next low pressure system. It's going to give us a chance for some rain showers locally. The farther off into the north that you are within the Finger Lakes, there may be some higher elevation freezing rain, really going to be temperature dependent there off to the north of where that warm front is lying on who may see some wintry precipitation, but locally we're looking to stay well within that warmer pocket, giving us some mild temperatures heading into our Thursday. But enjoy it while it is around, because cold air is going to fill in after this system finally exits portions of really all the way from the Midwest into the Northeast. Cold air will be filtering in from Friday into that Saturday forecast, keeping us underneath a few snow showers. A few little waves coming off of the low, and then some lake effect snow showers will allow for minimal accumulation, but keep us underneath some gloomier skies for at least much of that weekend before Sunday will bring us at least back towards more seasonal temperatures. So looking as we head into Thursday, we are well within that warm pocket here locally, but you can see as you just head into those Finger Lakes, the contour that is behind this map showing that we are hanging just along that warm front. So much of the area will see even maybe a peak of sunshine possible, temperatures flirting with 60s, but the farther off to the north you are, again, when that final system pushes through in the afternoon, it could mean some areas of some freezing rain as you see a little bit of that possible for Wayland. So keeping an eye on that threat for Thursday. Note that it could create those slick surfaces again, but then we're heading into that cooler air, and overnight Thursday into Friday, winds are going to pick up behind that low pressure system, gusting upwards of 40 miles per hour, and that's going to quickly pull those temperatures down from nearly flirting with the 60s to looking at low temperatures into the teens and 20s. Friday and Saturday, we keep highs within those lower 30s under some isolated to scattered snow showers and gloomy skies. We're back to seasonal on Sunday, but we're ushered back into active weather next week.
Home sales slump. A consulting firm known for recommending layoffs plans its own cuts, and a hiring sign in Ohio is causing a buzz. Jackie DeAngelis has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
The National Association of Realtors revealing home sales have tanked for a 12th straight month. According to its latest study, sales dropped by more than 36% from January of 2022. The steepest decline was out west, where sales fell by more than 42%. Sales in the Northeast, South, and Midwest all fell by more than 30%. And Amazon's deal to buy the One Medical network of clinics won't be challenged by the FTC. Amazon is paying $3.9 billion to buy One Medical's parent company, One Life Healthcare. Consulting firm McKinsey is planning to eliminate as many as 2,000 jobs in what would be one of its highest reductions to date. The layoffs are expected to be completed in the coming months. Home furnishings company Overstock lost money in its holiday quarter. The online shopping platform says its active customer count and the number of orders delivered both fell by more than 30%. Now hiring non-stupid people. This non-traditional hiring sign at a pizza shop in Ohio getting mixed reactions. The owner's daughter says recent hires have not had a good work ethic, but the sign is meant to be a joke. The owners say it has actually gotten them more customers. That's business. I'm Jackie DeAngelis.
Walmart executives remain cautious about the future despite good sales last quarter. The company reported $164 billion in revenue, a 7.3% gain year over year. Solid sales during the holiday season and strong food shopping played a major role in the positive report, even with shoppers cutting back on overall spending due to inflation. Walmart executives say unknowns in the economy and more interest rate hikes for consumers could negatively impact earnings in the future. Video game companies are looking at cutbacks as consumers are spending less. Video game analysts say gamers are steering toward major gaming franchises rather than new properties and titles. As a result, publishers are cutting costs and canceling new games. A Wall Street Journal report says Ubisoft Entertainment has canceled 3 games in recent weeks. Electronic Arts has stopped production on some of its biggest games, including a delay on a new Star Wars game. NPD Group data shows a 2% overall decrease in U.S. video game software sales compared to last year. More Americans are making their auto payments late. An analysis by financial company Moody's Analytics says in late 2022, more than 9% of car loan payments were 30 days or more late. That's the highest figure seen since 2010. Vehicle shortages have caused car prices to surge over the past couple of years, and many Americans had to take out large loans in order to pay. Now, some even owe more money than their car is worth. All of this comes as consumer spending has also increased with high inflation, making it more difficult for borrowers to keep up with loans. A baby formula manufacturer is recalling some of their batches. The maker of Enfamil says 145,000 cans of their Pro-Sobi Simply plant-based infant formula are potentially contaminated. The Chronobacter bacteria in question can lead to illness or even death in infants. No cases of illnesses linked to the formula have been reported so far. The company says they're no longer using the supplier where that possible contamination was found. Consumers can return their case of the recalled formula to the place of purchase for a full refund. Still ahead, some California first responders have a new high-tech vehicle. How this new tool is helping to save lives, next. Some California first responders have a new high-powered vehicle at their disposal, ready for the next major emergency. Mina Wahab shows us how it can help save lives.
If Superman were a vehicle, this would be it.
The Advanced Rescue Medevac, or ARM, is a 15,000-pound bulletproof vehicle that can withstand hurricane-force winds and drive through more than 4 feet of water and mud. Direct Relief donated this nearly $350,000 ARM to the Ventura County Sheriff's headquarters.
It's really important that the people who are putting themselves at risk to save others are geared up properly.
This search and rescue vehicle has the ability to drive in all types of terrain. It can be deployed to Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo counties for a wide variety of emergencies, including mudslides, fires, high water rescues, and active shooter situations.
It is a life-saving tool. It is bulletproof so that we can take it into areas when there is an active shooter. We've already had active shooters here in Ventura County.
Ventura County Sheriff's Deputy Shane Matthews used the 2018 borderline shooting in Thousand Oaks as an example of how the ARM could help. Matthews Sergeant Ron Heelis died during the response to the shooting after he was hit by friendly fire.
We could have gotten Sergeant Heelis into an area that was safe, that had ballistic protection, that had advanced life support capabilities, and transported them out that way.
The ARM's life-saving equipment includes onboard oxygen and medical supplies that can help up to 4 people at a time. Matthews hopes more agencies are able to secure vehicles like the ARM because of its potential to help.
More than a dozen sheep and goats ran wild in Glendale, Arizona. Lindsay Ragus has more from a local business owner who saw it all.
It was just an exciting day. A little spice to getting our restaurant open.
Right next to Freddy's Frozen Custard in Glendale is an empty lot usually filled with sheep and goats, but that wasn't the case Tuesday afternoon.
Just outside our windows there, as we were getting stuff ready for the day, we looked out and there was probably 16 goats and sheep that just started walking by.
Chad Pickett and his coworkers spotted the livestock on 83rd Avenue heading towards Camelback and quickly went out to help.
So the three of us went out. Myself and Joel kind of got out there to stop traffic from going either way down 83rd here. And then the person that actually owns the land over there that the sheep and goats were on that were eating the foliage, he had just come by and he shot across the street in his pickup and that he was actually trying to herd them back this way as we were stopping the traffic from either way.
Glendale police showed up shortly after to help the owner herd the livestock back to the fenced property.
Watching them, just the police chase around this building here, the JT's Pub, like that area and the gas station, they just kept going around in circles and finding new places to hide. And
bystanders on both sides of the street say they saw goats and sheep wandering around nearby businesses.
They were just herding them. They were trying to yell them back in the direction they needed to go.
And that worked?
Yeah, surprisingly well.
We'll be back with more right after this. We want to leave you with a smile. Big Hero 6 fans won't have to wait much longer for the movie's themed area inside Disneyland. The Walt Disney Company says the San Francisco Square is set to open this summer. The area is named after the main city in the animated film, a combination of San Francisco and Tokyo. Fans who visit the Disney California Adventure Park will soon be able to meet the robot character Baymax in the square. They can also eat a variety of new Asian-inspired items or drink from the English, Japanese, and Spanish-inspired beer selections. I'm Scott Beadle. Thank you for watching.